I decided to fit my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra into a filmmaking rig to shoot YouTube videos. First, I'll show you the components I used, from the rig itself to lenses, mic and lighting. Then I'll share some tips and tricks on using the right tools to capture videos in the streets of Vienna with Tanya. I am Mo, and this video is not being sponsored by any of the brands that I'm introducing today. I have already been using this setup for a few weeks. The first thing you need is a cage. The one I'm using is from a company called Neewer. Other brands also offer cages for the S24 Ultra, but I prefer Neewer because they provide budget-friendly, high-quality products for filmmaking and photography. The cage allows you to attach other accessories. The final accessory is a quick release, which saves you a lot of time. The quick release has two parts. One attaches to your camera cage and the other to your tripod. I'm using a Manfred to a small tripod. The beauty of a quick release is that you don't need to screw and unscrew your cage from the tripod. It just takes a few seconds to detach it. I'll put all the products links in the description. The next important component is the mic. You can either get a shotgun mic or, like I did, a wireless mic. Wireless mics often have a receiver that connects via USB-C to your phone and comes with one or two mics. I'm using one from Neewer. They also sell the same mic under the name Fuliam, which costs around $120, while more expensive brands like Rode or DJI are about $300. You can add a light on top of the cage if you want to. I also tried connecting an SSD holder to save videos directly on the SSD. However, I soon realized it was wishful thinking, since I couldn't find an option to save the videos directly on the SSD without third-party software, so I didn't use this component. One of the main components of the rig, and perhaps the most important for me, is the ND filter. If you're outdoors and there is too much light, you have two options: increase the shutter speed or use an ND filter, which is like sunglasses for your camera. ND filters darken the image, lowering the exposure. Shutter speed controls exposure by determining how long the shutter stays open, affecting motion blur. The rule of thumb is that the shutter speed should be double the frame rate. For example, if your frame rate is 30 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 1 to 60. High shutter speeds without motion blur makes the footage look bad. For example, the footage on the right is taken without an ND filter in auto mode, which looks overexposed and unnatural. The footage on the left, taken with an ND filter and a correct shutter speed, looks more natural and pleasant. The other reason that the ND filter is crucial for me is that with a higher shutter speed, you see flickering on the phone screen, like here where I am using the S24 base model. Another important component is the grips. Although phones have great stabilization, handles give you more control and allow you to shoot more angles that are difficult with the phone alone. For example, Tanya used the handle to run the phone through the grass for a nice transition, and I used it to capture her face from a different angle, giving the footage a dramatic look. As you can see, the stabilization with the handle is better, and it is also less awkward to hold the phone and walk towards the subject with it. Here Tanya is walking towards the violinist, and since the sound gradually increases as we get closer to her, it by itself creates a nice take, and the shot gets closer to a climax as the music is more audible towards the end. I also attach a lens to my rig. In this scenario, Tanya was too far away, and although I could use the 3x zoom lens, the main camera sensor is of higher quality. Here is the same footage with a 67mm lens attached to the main camera, capturing the right frame without the camera being too close to the subject, creating a better connection with the audience. Using the portrait videography mode in the S24 Ultra camera app blurs everything except from the main subject. The next step is to produce more clips with different variations for selection. For example, I moved around Tanya with a certain motion and gave her instruction when I knew I wouldn't use the sound. Look. Look back. As it got dark, I attached a light to my cage to make Tanya's face more visible. It was cold and the footage didn't turn out as I wanted.
Cold.
Is it cold? The main shot was Tanya singing by the water. We used the wireless mic, with one mic handed to her and the other kept by me. The mic is also magnetic and can be attached to a necklace or your shirt. Here you can see the sound quality over a long distance.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. Da, 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 da.
I have no idea what you're saying, but theoretically now it should be a double microphone
saying,
kind of situation. Oh, you cannot hear me too.
Smile and wave.
Let's see how it sounds like. Say something. After shooting the singing shot, everything came together and here is the final result.
And at your gate, and the song that I sing is of moonlight. I stand and I wait for the touch of your hand in the June night. The roses are sighing a moonlight serenade.
I also have two other lenses, a macro lens for cool close-up photos and a fisheye lens for vlogging, travel blogs, or real estate videos. Sick. I love this setup so far, though it can be awkward to use the phone when creating content. I got into the habit of putting the cage in my bag when I didn't need it. This way, I don't need to carry a camera and save a lot of weight. By the way, obviously that was not my bag. Although I introduced many components, only 4 are essential. The cage, at least one grip, an ND filter, and maybe a mic for recording sound from a distance. This is the setup that I use to shoot my videos. I've used many cameras before, from 10K cameras for event photography to point-and-shoot cameras. For this channel, I'm using a Canon R50. As you can see here, together with the Galaxy S24 Ultra with the setup that I just talked about. When I started to upload videos in this channel 6 months ago, I knew that I cannot compete with people like Marcus Brownlee that have a studio more than $1 million in equipment. That's why I went to the other directions and I kept my setup as simple as possible, and this is also a suggestion that I have for content creators. This way I can use the money that I saved to buy the phones instead of asking for the companies to send it to me to have a bit more unbiased opinion and review of them. The thing about uploading things into the social platforms like YouTube and Instagram is that they compress your videos and then your audience most likely are watching the videos on a very crappy screen with a low resolutions because of their internet speed, something like 720 or 1080. So if you have a good phone, just use it, maybe get the setup that I just talked about. It just costs you $200 to $300 and that would be enough. My channel already gets around 500,000 viewers monthly. I don't know why, but thank you for watching. And I would say in this age, the phone cameras are good enough to take videos for social media, even if you want to run a YouTube channel. That said, if you want to see the camera that I just talked about, Canon R50 versus the Galaxy S24 Ultra, there is a video up here. And if you want to see the Galaxy S24 Ultra long-term review, I've uploaded a video here. Thanks for tuning into Tecmo, and I will see you in the next one.